Hi guys, Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and founder of the Canadian Immigration Institute, which is this YouTube channel, as well as the Express Entry Law private Facebook group, which is over 106,000 strong right now. It's time, guys, for another, let's see if I can find it here, unless I've lost it. Bam! It's time for another tip of the day related specifically to Express Entry. And guys, today I want to tell you that I've got a relatively special one that I'm sharing with you. Many of you are probably well aware, if you live outside of the country, that our world is full of crooked, dishonest, cheats, just horrible people that are looking to try to take advantage of you, who are looking to exploit you, looking to steal your money and capitalize on your desire to immigrate to Canada. And it happens all the time. Whether you're in India, Pakistan, Nigeria, South America, there are always people who are trying to con you into giving them money to help you immigrate to Canada. Now, often it comes in the form of what we call job offers. So someone will say, oh, I can get you a job offer to come to Canada to work or to help facilitate your permanent resident application. But more often than not, it's really difficult to tell whether that job offer is legitimate or whether it's just a fake. So today, guys, oh, not that one. There we go. Today, the tip of the day is, how can I tell if my job offer is fake? So the reason I decided to choose this is because I got a message like I do every day from hundreds of you guys asking whether or not this document you have is legitimate, whether it's real or whether it's fake. And so what I did was I got permission first from this person to demonstrate using the document they showed me. And surprise, surprise, it was 100% fake. And not only that, this job offer and alleged work permit was going to cost this person almost $10,000 Canadian. So can you imagine that? Paying $10,000 and getting nothing in return but some fake document that you think allows you to travel to Canada to work for a company and transition ultimately to permanent residence. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you guys exactly what this job offer looked like. So I'm going to switch to my screen and I'm going to get my ugly mug off of here. I'm going to move this over so that you guys can see this. And I'm actually going to blow it up full screen so you can see it even more. I wonder if I can make it even larger. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Now we got things happening. Here we go. So here is the job offer. And this one is, you can see, from a lovely company by the name of Du Paradis Farms. And this Du Paradis Farms apparently is located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Grand Avenue, Buena Vista, Regina. All right, that's all fine and dandy. But this, guys, is an entire and total fake. Now, it's not always easy, and there are a number of things that you can identify from reference letters. But Canadian companies will never list, and right in here in this section here to the left that I've got blocked off is the actual passport information of this person. And you can see there's a reference up here, whatever that means. But this is total fake. Canadian companies do not put your specific passport information on their job offer letters. They'll list your name and your address, but not that information. Then if we go down and we scroll down a little bit more, you can see this letter of offer, what that they call it, on the surface has some elements that make it look like it's kind of genuine. But we've got here maintenance of executive. Well, that's the position. And this here, guys, is a farm. Well, you have to do your due diligence here, but farms don't typically have maintenance executives. But we'll go through and I'll show you. It's got all of the hallmark stuff. But right down here, you'll see at the bottom, they actually have a website address. So guess what I did? I went in and I took a look to see what this website address, whether it was actually a real place. And I'm not sure if I have it linked here still. No, I think I closed it off. But anyways, I went there and the site didn't exist. And so this site, and you can see it's kind of, bear with me here, www.dualparody.com. So let's just take a look here. So these are some simple things you can test to make sure that it's real. And then I'll show you why even this is probably not even worth it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I already searched it. So I go here. Hey, what do you know? Account suspended. I wonder why it was suspended. Maybe because many people have had their lives messed over because they thought this company was real when someone was just scamming them. So when you check out the reference letter, the address for this company, the web address, it doesn't even exist. Okay, so that's one thing that we need to look at. And I'm going to shrink this back down so it's normal size. Okay, so on the surface, this is full of things that would tell me that it doesn't exist. Now, you could probably go and try and call the number, or you could check out the address. But even when I Google Do Parody Farm, it doesn't even exist. Okay, so that's the job offer letter. But sometimes people will go one step further, and that one step further in this circumstance is they actually provided a work permit to this person. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to shrink this down because I don't need it right now. And I'm going to pull up this magical work permit right here. So here is the work permit, and I'm going to blow this up large so you can see. Okay, guys, this right here, for your reference, is a real legitimate work permit. This is what your work permit should look like if you've been issued one. So you can see up here, it's got the document number up here. You can see right below, application. All work permits are going to start with a W. Okay, and then your UCI number. Every person is given a UCI number that's an 8-digit or more number. And then you can see the work permit has different components to it. You can see here that it's full. It has the person's name, where the country of birth, their travel document number, and in this case, it's a passport. And it has an issue date, an expiry date. So this one was issued for just a short period of time because it was a very specialized project. And then it indicates the employer. You can see over here, and then the name of the employer. This ESDC number is actually where if the employer was required to get you an LMIA, which if you're outside of Canada and it's a new job for you, it's always going to be an LMIA-based work permit, a labor market impact assessment. And I'm going to do a whole other quick tip of the day on what an actual LMIA is involved in getting for an employer. But at this stage, I just want to show you what real documents look like. So here's the work permit. You can see it lists the position that you're going to be filling and when it was issued. Okay. These work permits right here, and if you look down here, it actually says, this is something rare. I haven't seen NCIC. Actually, let me go up a little bit because I know my picture is blocking it. But up here, you can see it says NCIC negative. Well, that is if the person was an American coming up. This is a search of the FBI database, which usually officers don't post that, but that's okay. Anyways, so this is a real legitimate work permit right here. Let's close this, and then I want to show you what this person's work permit looked like. Okay, so I'm going to blow it up nice and big so everybody can see. Okay, so here's the work permit. You can see, do these look similar? Check this out over here where my cursor is getting large. I think you guys can see it right here. Do you see it starts with a V? Well, right off the bat, that's what visitor records look like. So right off the bat, you know it's fake. It has the person's picture here that's blocked off. Nope, ain't going to happen. They've even written ETA on here and some funky new numbers. This is an electronic travel authorization. So if people are traveling to Canada and they don't require a visa, they have to apply for an ETA, unless they're American. But in this case, you can see there are some elements that are similar. Like they try to create this Canada impression. They've got this nice little symbol they've stuck on here, a nice green Canada. I don't know what the heck that purpose is. And then once again, the person's name and various information related to them. It does say work permit. And this part here is somewhat copied from the traditional process, and same for here down here. You can see it does have some elements that are the same. But look, guys, this is the work permit that was actually given to this person. You remember, the job offer was for Du Paradis Farms. Well, who is this for? It's for Hilton Hotel. And my personal favorite is the occupation, which is hotel boy, which is not a term we use in Canada. Anyways, you can see here that this document is a complete and total fake, and this person was on the verge of getting completely and totally duped. So fortunately, and I have to say fortunately, for this person, they reached out to me and I was able to identify that it wasn't legitimate. So quick rundown for you. If you have a job offer, one, you would have had some contact with the actual employer offering it. 99% of the time, they're going to interview you to see if you work. Or someone from the company, a recruiting manager or a recruiting company, is going to be doing the screening. So you're going to have an actual interview with them. They're going to screen you. They're going to determine if you fit the requirements of the job that they want to offer. And then also, that employer has to go through something called a labor market impact assessment. And I'm going to flip back here and show my screen again. And I'm going to pull up what an actual LMIA looks like. This is it. Okay? So in the case of an LMIA, they always have an LMIA number at the top. This one was processed in St. John's, and it's used, this LMIA is used for actually getting a work permit and supporting your permanent residence. It has the CRA number over here of the company, but this is exactly what it looks like. This is to inform you that you can see that your Employment and Social Development Canada, ESDC, and remember, if you have one that says HRSDC or HRDC, those are old ones. So that's an old fake that they've tried to use. So Employment and Social Development Canada has completed the processing of your labor market impact assessment received on, pay attention to the date, and the assessment has resulted in a positive decision. Woohoo! All right. So, and then they go into a whole bunch of details for the company on what they need to show, the expectations that they have to abide by. And then the most important part is right down here, which is the Annex A. And this explains in detail what the actual conditions are of the job that you're filling. So, and all of this should match up with your job offer. So you can see here, this is for a dairy herds person. And then it goes through all of the details in terms of the college, the level of education. Sorry, it's kind of bouncing around here a little bit. Education, language ability, is it regulated? What kind of, how long is the employment for? In this case, we have indeterminate. And that just basically means that this is to support permanent residents. And so it's designed to support someone transitioning into permanent residence in Canada. Often it'll say 1 year or 2 year if it's just for a work permit. And then the wage that's being offered, vacation pay, the hours per day, the hours per week. So you can see all of this information is all listed in this LMIA. And at the top, on every page, is the actual LMIA number, which is usually a 7-digit number. And so that's the information. So there you go, guys. You can see here it was a quick little tip of the day, I guess, if you will, once again for Express Entry. And you can see it's starting to get dark on me here. I've got this little camera feature that can help to brighten things up a little bit here. Let's see if I can. Oh, well, it doesn't brighten it up a little bit. You can't change the fact that it's actually getting dark outside. But anyways, that is the Express Entry tip of the day. And I wanted you guys all to just know that there are ways you can check to make sure that you're not getting duped. This is one of them. And the last item that I will tell you, the last tip, the actual work permit, which once again, if I flip back to my screen, is this thing right here, this work permit. Let me open it up. This one right here that we see, that work permit, guys, is only issued directly at the port of entry when you're flying into Canada if you have never been to Canada before. Your work permit is actually issued right by the officers at the border. If someone is trying to show you this work permit and say, okay, you've got your work permit issued, now pay me 50% up front and then 50% once you start your job in Canada, If they're showing you some kind of a work permit here, it is fake. It's not real. That work permit is issued at the port of entry. And then you're probably asking, well, how do I know that my work permit has been approved? Well, if you're outside of Canada, your work permit actually has to be applied for at a consulate abroad. And when you apply for it at a consulate abroad, this is what you see. Okay? So this work permit right here, this is an approval letter that has come through from the visa office. So once you get a copy of your LMIA from the employer after it's been approved, then you take that and you use that to apply for your own work permit, or your agent, if you're using a legal one, will use that LMIA to apply for your work permit. But you are going to be involved in that process. You are going to review the work permit application that's being submitted. It's not like someone does everything in the dark and you don't know anything about it. So this is what the approval letter looks like. Now, this one was issued a little over a year ago, but it doesn't matter. Same thing. It's going to have the work permit number there, and I've redacted a lot of this information. It'll have your UCI number. It'll have your name and your address right here. This one is for Israel, but I've blocked that off. And then you'll see it'll have your name here. It'll say your application to work in Canada has been approved, and all of the rest of the information here, including giving you instructions on what you do. So if you're from a country which requires a visa, then you're going to need to use the actual passport. They're going to ask for your passport and imprint a visa in it at the consulate at the same time you get this letter. So understand, guys, there's lots of ways to know whether or not you're being duped. And in maybe my next Express Entry tip of the day, I'll actually explain how a company gets your job offer and what they have to do. But for now, that's kind of what I've got. So I hope you found this helpful. And those of you who are watching, this one's been a little bit longer than my typical tip of the day. But I am going to do another EE Live, what I call my EE Live Q&As. I will do another one here shortly. But for now, I'm just sticking to these quick tips, these Express Entry tips of the day that you've got going on right here. Okay? So those of you who are watching live and are trying to send me questions, I will have a special designated EE Live Q&A again, but I want to keep these ones nice and short so people can use them. And especially when I spin them out to YouTube, people can review them. Anyways, I hope you like this, and I recommend that you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't joined the Express Entry Law Facebook group, then answer the questions on the way in, and we'll consider adding you to that awesome group that's right now almost closing in on 107,000. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and your source for all information related to Express Entry and Canadian immigration. Take care.